Hello everyone and welcome to Full Moon's Rise. You're watching Midnight Magic on YouTube.
You are indeed watching us on YouTube. Well, at least I hope so anyway.
Well,
Otherwise, God knows where you're watching us.
from space.
From space. If people are watching from space, that is pretty awesome.
We are going to be talking Battle of Zendikar. Battle for Zendikar.
We are going to be talking about that Zendikar. It's a new set. It's the full set this year. We've seen some spoilers on it. We're not going to talk about individual cards, but we are going to discuss some of the mechanics and how we think they might do in the new standard metagame and other formats.
And I have been living in a hole, so it's mainly going to be James, and I'm going to be surprised with some of the stuff, I think.
I think you probably will be surprised by some of the stuff. So, let's start with Devoid. Devoid's a new mechanic. Seems to be Eldrazi specific at the moment. And what it is, it's a keyword on Eldrazi's that you cast for a colour. For example, if you cast them for like black and 2 colourless, or black red, or 2 colourless black green, are a few of the examples. They have the new keyword Devoid, which means they are devoid of colour. They are colourless creatures, regardless of whether you've spent colour to cast.
Okay.
Which I think is it's a little interesting. It's a little bit frisky. There's a couple of cards that have been spoiled where Devoid matters. You can sacrifice colourless creatures to give that particular creature something else, or kill other creatures and stuff like that. I think it's pretty cool.
So it kind of slows stuff down a bit.
Yeah, a little bit. It's like a little tempo mechanic within the Eldrazi. The way I think it might work better is with some of the Tarkir stuff, because morphs are colourless before they flip up.
Yeah.
So you can sacrifice morphs. More specifically, manifests. If you've got manifests that you can't flip over and they're literally just like a 2/2 forest or something underneath, you can sack them to certain Eldrazi to kill other creatures or make your other Eldrazi bigger. So that's kind of neat.
So it makes the forest better.
It does make a forest better. Things like Whisperwood Elemental, for example.
Yeah.
Can work with the new Eldrazi and things like that. I think it's a nice way to get Eldrazi into not just Eldrazi decks. Not like old Zendikar where it's just like, oh, I'm playing Eldrazi, so I play green, I ramp, I get a big creature. Now you can put the smaller ones into decks that are already around.
So it works better with the other set.
Yeah, I think it gives the other set a lot more synergy in itself, and of course the blue-red Thopter deck going around. We could see some Eldrazi going into that for a little bit of sacrificing Ornithopters and things like that to do fun stuff. So I think it's an interesting one. We'll see what happens when it comes out. I think it could be one of these sleeper ones where some crazy pro tour is going to turn up with a deck that no one expects.
And then cleans the floor with everyone.
Yeah, exactly. So that's cool. That's Devoid. The Eldrazi have another mechanic though. One a little bit more gross. It's called Ingest.
Oh, that doesn't sound nice.
Yes, Ingest is basically the new Eldrazi Annihilator, which we're not getting back, thank God, because Eldrazi Annihilator not pleasant anyway. Ingest is pretty okay. What Ingest does is whenever this creature deals combat damage to you, you exile top card of your library.
Okay. Just one?
Just one.
Oh, so not too bad.
It's not too bad. I mean,
There could be a lot worse.
it could be a hell of a lot worse. Obviously, the smaller Eldrazi have it, particularly the 1/2 flyer for 1 and the blue has it, which is pretty neat. I don't mind having a 1/2 flyer for 2 that's gonna get rid of the top card of their library.
So is that when it swings?
That's when it swings, yeah.
Alright.
So yeah, Ingest is pretty cool. It totally hoses my new standard deck, unfortunately, which is a black sort of graveyard theme thing. So my Bloodsoaked Champions and Despoiler of Souls getting exiled is a bit of
So back to the drawing board with that one then.
I think it is back to the drawing board with that one, but hey, you live and learn.
So another mechanic.
Another mechanic we've got is Awaken. That one's interesting. It's a bit of a weird one, really. I mean, what Awaken does basically is you have a spell and it has a CMC, or you can cast it for its Awaken cost, which is usually higher. And what it does is put counters on your land and give your land haste and turn it into a creature that you can then start attacking with.
Okay.
So it's sort of like there's a draw spell, which is 3 blue for a sorcery, draw 2 cards, or you can cast it for 5 blue with Awaken 4, I believe. So you draw 2 cards, you put 4 counters on your land, and then you get 2 cards and you get a 4/4 creature for 6. I mean, it's good.
Yeah. But at that point, you're already winning.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, there's more creatures. It's a bit of a strange one, that one. I think it's good in a limited format. In Standard, I don't think it'll see much play because the cards themselves that it's printed on haven't been particularly exciting yet. I mean, no one I know in Standard is going to want to play 3 and a blue for draw 2 cards anyway.
Right.
Especially at sorcery speed. But yeah, I mean, that's Awaken. Awaken's kind of interesting, I suppose.
Next mechanic,
the one that I'm actually most excited for is Landfill. Landfill's back.
Oh.
Landfill's not a new mechanic at all. It's a recurring one from old Zendikar. And what Landfill does, if you don't already know, is creatures and enchantments and artifacts and stuff have keyword Landfill. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, it will do a certain thing. Most notably, sometimes it would tap a creature down, sometimes old cards like Lotus Cobra would give you another mana, so you could ramp really easily. Lotus Cobra was super broken in that regard. We haven't seen anything super crazy with it on yet.
Right.
There's just a couple of very high-end creatures with landfall on it that do silly things. But at that point, it definitely is sort of like, if you've already got a 4/5 flyer, you're probably already winning that game. So landfall is just going to help you win that game more, I think. So I think what we need is a few smaller things with landfall on.
Well, time will tell on that one then.
Time will definitely tell. I was going to say this, the set hasn't been fully spoiled yet, so we could see something super crazy like a reprint of Lotus Cobra or something else that does nuts things.
Do you want to see Lotus Cobra?
I'd love to see Lotus Cobra. I think it would be great. The one card I particularly want to see reprinted is Searing Blaze, actually, which was ridiculously good with landfall, but that's by the by. We'll see.
Well. Next mechanic!
Next mechanic is the last one, and it's the one that you should be most excited for, the white weenie player that you are. It works with the new tribe that's come back, Allies, which already help each other out a lot, and it's called Rally. And Rally is an ally-only mechanic.
Right.
And what it does is creatures with Rally, whenever they enter the battlefield, or whenever another ally, enters the battlefield, the Rally trigger goes off, and it gives all of your allies an ability, a keyword, or +1/+1, so they can get lifelink, they can get vigilance, all that kind of crazy stuff.
Right, okay.
And it's just going to make all those sort of like aggressive ally decks just give them a bit more punch. Suddenly they all get an anthem for a turn, and you swing, and your opponent's like, oh.
Nice.
Bad blocks now, I guess.
Watch out.
Watch out for the allies. I think they're definitely going to be a strong one. For sure.
For sure?
For sure a strong one, allies.
How sure? Sure.
Pretty damn sure. I mean, the new Planeswalker Gideon, he's been reprinted, and he works very well with allies. He makes allies, he turns himself into an ally, and he's got a little anthem on him as well. So yeah, watch out for white is all I'm saying here.
So makes probably the worst Planeswalker alright.
I wouldn't say the worst. His last 2 incarnations have been pretty good.
Yeah, but
he's always been not too exciting.
Well, okay, let me rephrase that. The worst one out of the last lot of Planeswalkers.
Yeah, I suppose you could say that Gideon's never been a particular powerhouse, but now I think he's sort of slowly trying to find his way into Standard, and I wouldn't be surprised to see at least a few decks after Theros rotation with Gideon leading.
Surprise, I'm here.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, just be like, I'm new, and how are you going to get rid of me? Sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which is pretty nuts.
So, when's pre-release?
Pre-release for Battle for Zendikar is the 25th and the 26th of September. The release date is early October, a week after that. So yeah, it's going to be pretty sweet.
Fantastic.
It's going to be pretty sweet. One more bit of news though. The best bit of news. Well, arguably the best.
What's that?
That is your booster packs.
Right.
For Zendikar. I mean, Booster packs are cool. You like opening packs, right?
I do like opening packs.
Yeah, and you like getting mythics, right?
I do like getting mythics.
Mythics are generally pretty good. They're hard to get hold of. The mythic slot's always a little bit, ooh, will I, won't I? Well, the mythic slot in Battle for Zendikar could also contain non-standard cards.
Right.
Which is
Like?
which is pretty crazy. Well, land matters in Zendikar. Landfill's back.
Yep.
You've got the full art lands back as well, which is pretty sweet. But Wizards have announced that in the mythic slot, you may have a chance of pulling a foil land. A non-standard foil land, in fact. A non-standard full art foil shock land.
You're cray cray whiz.
They are cray cray whiz. But wait, that's not all. It could also be a full art foil fetch land. Any of them. Even the ones that weren't reprinted in Tarkir. The enemy fetches as well.
You're super cray cray whiz.
Yeah, they're mad cray cray. These lands are absolutely gorgeous.
I can imagine.
Seriously pretty lands. They're always foil, they're always full art. I mean, you've got a very small chance of getting them. And
can't play them in standard though.
you can't play them standard, you can play them in limited though. So if you're doing a Battle for Zendikar draft or sealed event and you pull one of these, fear not, you can play them. So that also frees up the space of just like, well, you know how it is in Origins when you're drafting and you're like building a pretty sweet deck, you open your second pack, you're like, sweet, we get an on-colour rare, and you're like, oh, Battlefield Forge, sweet.
Great.
Land. No one cares. Pass.
Fantastic.
They always will. So this time you open up a full art, let's say Arid Mesa or something like that, one of the new old reprinted shock lands. You're thinking, oh, well, that doesn't work in my deck. Do not pass them. For a start, they're gorgeous and foily and super pretty. Do not pass that land because the full art shocks at the moment are under pre-order for about $100 each.
Ka-ching, ka-ching.
Exactly. But Arid Mesa's fetch land, and the fetches, these full art foil fetches, which is tricky to say, are going for about $150 each in pre-order. So if you open up one of those in a draft, don't despair that you've lost your rare slot to some crappy land. Just think you can now pay for the next, 5 to 10 drafts with just that one card.
Man's got to eat.
Man's gotta eat.
Man has got to eat.
So yeah, when you see pro players in the Pro Tour top 8 and they're taking the foil fetches, don't knock them for not taking the card that's good for their deck.
Goif.
It's 150 quid.
Goif.
Goif. Full art fetch land gate, anyone? Maybe. But yeah,
Right.
that's about all the Battle for Zendikar news that we've got for you this week.
So you have been watching Midnight Magic and you have been
Formed.
fantastic, guys. See you next time on Full Moon's Rise.
Bye-bye.